1 year ago today, there was a tour, if we can call it that. It was called Let Women Speak. It was like a demonstration on the steps of the Victorian Parliament. Some alleged neo-Nazis turn up. State Liberal MP Moira Deeming was there. She spoke at the rally. And when John Pesutto, then as now Liberal leader, saw that, he panicked. He went after Moira Deeming. He ended up expelling her from the Liberal Party. The two of them are now fighting a defamation action in the federal court, which is costing, apparently, John Pesutto a great deal of money. It is also distracting him from his job as state opposition leader at a time when the opposition should be united and should be taking matters like potholes and demonstrations and debt up to the state government. Our next guest was also part of the Let Women Speak tour, and from what I can gather, she also could be about to launch a defamation action against John Pesutto. Kelly J. Keane, live from the UK, good morning.
Good morning to you.
I know it's late at night your time. We do appreciate it. Have you decided to launch a defamation action against John
I have. I've instructed my lawyers to file the defamation proceedings today.
And will that be in the local court here?
I understand so. My lawyers are Alexander Rashidi lawyers, the wonderful Bridie Nolan and Kath Deves. They're both based not in Melbourne, so I assume so. I don't know your justice system too well. I just know that it needs to work quite quickly and well for women.
And what is the basis of your defamation action against John Pesutto?
Just the libel, the lies, the quite dangerous, harmful lies that have caused both myself and my family issues. So, just hold him to account. You can't say really quite despicable, disgusting lies about somebody in order to silence them and intimidate them and get away with it. And I think he's about to find out.
One of the quotes allegedly made by John Pesutto last year was that you were part of a far right-wing extremist group, including neo-Nazi activists. Is that the sort of thing that's got you upset?
Well, yeah, I think, look, anybody tied to such an abhorrent idea such as Nazism is, it's a despicable thing. It's said about women all the time. We just don't want men in our spaces. We don't want to transition children. Unfortunately, we're making headway with our NHS in that regard, unlike the poor kids in Australia who are still being subjected to puberty blockers and so on. But it must be right that in a free and democratic society that women can gather and speak without being dangerously defamed by men that, quite frankly, should know better.
Are you still in regular contact with Moira Deeming here in Victoria?
I am. Yes, I am. And some of the other women that came to the event, like what was the real shame of the whole thing is there were so many women that had powerful, eloquent, meaningful things to say on that day. And that's why I organized these tours so that, women that don't often have a voice, women who don't feel that they're enough to speak in public, they come and speak at these events and they feel really empowered and emboldened to actually talk about what's happening, the fact that at work they've got to put pronouns in their signatures, that they don't actually have freedom to discuss what a woman is, that even some of your sports has totally been captured by this ideology. In fact, its poison is everywhere. And these women came and talked about it, and they haven't been discussed at all. All that's been talked about is the lies that John Pesutto said in order not to encourage or discourage, rather, women to come out and speak anymore.
Do you find it odd that the leader of what is notionally a conservative party here is the one that has allegedly called you a neo-Nazi?
Yeah, but what is conservative these days? I think most of the conservative parties throughout the world seem to have forgotten what conservative actually means. So I'm not really surprised. I think it's gravely foolish for any of these politicians to think that this particular fad is one to sort of hang their hopes on, that it will actually bear fruit, because it won't, because it's nonsensical, it doesn't make sense, and it's dishonest. So there's no longevity in this particular cult. And I think, John Pesutto will, unfortunately, to the cost of his career, probably find out.
Well, what do you want from Mr. Pesutto? Do you want money out of him? Do you just want an apology? What would you like to see emerge from this defamation action you're about to launch?
Look, I think money is always a very enticing, exciting prospect to make it very painful so someone doesn't do it again. But ultimately, I would like that man to apologize, and I would like him to apologize because whilst he said these things about me, what he's actually doing is trying to tell all women that they really do have to shut up. And that's what's happening everywhere. You pick off a few women, and the rest of the women are are minded to shut up. And so I would like a full and frank apology in which he admits not only that he was incompetent in not finding out and fact checking that the things he was saying were lies, but also when he was told that they were lies, he doubled down and repeated them. And just saying them in the first place. If you're going to say someone's associated with Nazis or the leaders of the KKK, you really do have to fact check before you make someone's life rather more vulnerable.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to it. Thank you for your time. I know it's late in the UK. Kelly J. Keane there. She's a women's rights activist, founder of the Let Women Speak tour that a year ago today led to all of these problems, and leader of a new political party called the Party of Women. And we have asked John Pesutto, leader of the Liberal Party here in Victoria, to come on the program.